I'm gonna get one of these. This is one of those that I want. If, like me, you've been holding off on picking up one of the micro high capacity 380 guns, this one might be for you. Because I've been holding off on it. I wanted to find one that I liked a lot, and it's phenomenal. I hope it shoots that way.
Dance with the devil, pale moonlight.
Now we are rolling. Microphones are on.
Everybody going?
Everyone's going.
All right.
Let me triple check that because I am slowly losing consciousness. There we are.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like it.
I don't care.
Are you sitting on a box of 45 for practical reasons?
Well, I'm trying to get our heads at roughly the same level. How would you like to start?
Hi.
Wait. Bodyguard 2.
The Bodyguard 2.0.
0.0.
Is it 0.0?
2.0.
I like that. That implies that there might be a 2.1 that has a slightly better operating system.
Hey, everybody. How the heck are you today? Yep, it's your old pals, Frank and CJ, here to tell you about something new, something a little bit different, something a little bit actually kind of cool. I think you'll like it.
Micro compact. That's where we're at.
Say hello to the Bodyguard 2.0. Nice, right? Looks kind of familiar, right? Doesn't actually look like the original. The original, as you see, is considerably smaller. The original only holds 6 rounds, whereas the new one holds 10 flush, 12 with an extended magazine. It's kind of hard to see here on the camera, but look how much skinnier it is. It's slim, it's tight, it's nice. They put the micro back in micro compact. Nice touch.
We should just jump right into the part where we like it.
I don't see why.
We liked it, right?
We did like it. In fact, we liked it. I think we liked it more than we thought we were.
Yeah. I mean, I was pretty excited about it because pocket guns have always piqued my interest, but I didn't like the era of the all-metal, hammerless, 80s looking 4-round capacity, double action trigger. I didn't care for those. The LCPs and the original Bodyguards came along. There's nothing technically wrong with them. They work. They do everything they're supposed to. There was no actual reason, but they just weren't for me. That thing still had a double action trigger. It was still a different animal. It has an internal hammer. A little bit rough to shoot. When you have a gun that size and you're fighting the snap of a gun that weighs nothing, having to also fight with a double action recoil, you might as well have just had a 642 revolver,
You weren't that far off, no.
Yeah,
You really weren't.
You had the same capacity, you had basically the same rounds, even a little bit more of a neutered round than a 38 special. So, but when they started adding more and more rounds, I believe with a few of the other manufacturers started doing it with 9s, I think is where it really took off.
Yeah.
We came up with this stack and a half type magazine where not quite a single stack, not quite a double stack. It's like they sit staggered and feed it as a single stack. That's why it has this little neck on the magazine.
Chimney living die.
Yeah. Once they started with that, the 380s were obviously the next thing to blow up. So they've come out with a gun by all rights is the same size as the original Bodyguard, damn near. Very close to it, that has double the capacity. And I'm excited. I'm excited because it is a pistol that keeps its form like the everyday handguns that you carry. If you carry a polymer striker fire gun, which I think most people still do.
Yep. Especially
if you have your Glock, your M&P, your 365, your Hellcat, the list goes on. They all basically work the same way. So Smith & Wesson gave us one where you get forward slide serrations, you get actually usable sights. It's a blacked out rear, an orange front dot. You keep the ergonomics of a full-size gun just scaled way down. It's striker fired. The trigger feels the same as pretty much all the other M&Ps. You guys saw that we shot a Shield Plus today. The trigger is the exact same on each of them, They've really just scaled the gun as small as they can get it.
Yep.
And they've done a really good job. That little blurb I did yesterday, the pre-recording I did before we went out to the range, I was noting all that out of the box, and I was just saying that I was just really hoping it would shoot, and it did.
And I think that we found that it did.
Yeah, it chewed through several hundred rounds of 380. It's a fanny pack gun.
Yeah. Actually, quite much, yes.
Yeah, I'm on a fanny pack kick. I never wear one. I just really like people who do, so I'm excited to be able to sell them a good fanny pack gun. Because you got, 12 plus 1 in your fanny pack now.
Not so much here. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you, Smith & Wesson. Look, everybody's on now. And with the 12-rounder, everybody's completely where it ought to be. It's a beautiful thing. And at least for me, I'm not the most gifted shooter on the planet, but for me, boy, that makes a big difference. I'm actually able to stay on target. I can put it up. I can make it do what I want it to do. And more often than not, I can actually get pretty darn close to what I was aiming at.
Mm-hmm. Well, I noticed that too. And I said it on the range, and I'll say it again here just in case we didn't get that audio. The ergonomics on this gun are such that you can really just swallow it with your hands and muscle it on target. And it's like I said out at the range, that's not how you're supposed to shoot a handgun. And anyone who's ever given me any sort of professional training is, clutching their pearls that I even said that. But, if you're using a gun like this and you're panicked and you really only have time to think about grabbing the gun and muscling it on target and pulling the trigger, it lends itself extremely well to that. It's a really good little close range carry gun there. But I think that as far as the archetype of people who are trying to talk someone who's just getting into shooting into their first carry gun, and we see this a lot at the shop, there are some people who are simply infatuated with the idea that newer shooters who are carrying a gun for the first time need the smallest gun possible. That clicks in their brain. It's the little long debate about whether or not you really should give a new shooter a tiny little gun, because historically, tiny little guns, for one reason or another, whether it be the double action trigger, whether it be the high recoil because it's a big round and a small gun, just for a number of reasons, or just the size of the frame in general. There is such a thing as a gun being too small. Some of those little metal 380 hammerless guns are the most uncomfortable guns I've ever shot. And if you're a new shooter and someone just talked you into, well, this is what you need, you're going to take it to the range once and you're never going to go again. You're going to hate it. They kind of dialed in this gun by making it so unbelievably small, high capacity, but giving it enough grip and giving it that striker fire trigger to where you can comfortably get a new shooter into a tiny little gun, and I don't think it's going to hurt him. I don't think it's going to be too snappy or uncomfortable, and I don't think that they're going to develop a rotten form because their gun's just too small. I mean, there's plenty of grip.
Or more importantly, for new shooter, the first time you go out there and it goes, that's going to freak people out, and they don't like that. This eliminates that because there's plenty of room to put your hand. There's plenty of place for your finger. Pinky's got a place to live. You can get a proper grip on this one. And that's going to, I think, help a lot of new shooters and novice shooters move forward in the world of concealed carry and carry on their person, and give them a lot of confidence to know that, you know, if I really got to pull this thing out, I'm ready to do so.
They really seemed like there's always a compromise carrying a gun this small. But to be fair, out of all the really small micro guns we've seen so far, it seems like Smith has dialed in and made it as little of a compromise as possible. And we like everything that we talk about, don't we? I mean, we're easy to please, but
Well, yes. We are easy to get along with. That is true. But it's also true that, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, there are very few guns anymore that just absolutely horrible. That, you know, don't do that. Don't do that. That's awful. Don't do that. It creates a great situation for new consumers or even guys that have been around a long time, because the actual minor differences you're able to come up with that make a big difference to the way the gun feels to you are all on display. So when you're going through that march of doing your research and making sure everything's fine, you really owe it to yourself to look at this little fella and kind of get your hands on it. And if you can, shoot it, because it is a definite player and a definite contender in the I'm going to carry this gun every day, regardless market.
Yeah. It seems almost like everybody has dialed in how to make a gun that works. I can't remember the last time a major company, one of the ones that everyone knows, comes out with a gun and it just doesn't work across the board. Those days seem like they're over. And I guess manufacturing tolerances and material choices and stuff, everyone's kind of settled into a niche where it really seems like what people are actually competing about now are features, you know, comfort, capacity, and I mean front serrations, the sights,
the high vis sights.
Yeah, that's unusual. You see that? If you don't know a lot about guns like this, it's unusual to get a orange high vis front sight on a gun this small, and I really enjoyed that because it's not in your face, it doesn't stick out, it's not some big goofy fiber optic thing, but it is nice to have an orange dot up there out of the box,
and particularly for a gun that is going to be jerked out and stuck out and shot, having that one little bit right there. I don't need a bunch of fanciness. I just need that one little place that I can focus on and put that in front of where I want to put it. You know, it's very, very good. Trigger is modest. What would you say? 3-4 pounds?
Yeah.
You know, it's not overachieving. And it is a striker trigger.
Yeah.
Same place every time.
Great carry trigger. Same as all the other M&P series guns out of the box. Yeah.
And speaking out of the box, comes with a 10-rounder and a 12-rounder in the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. It's an M&P series. We'll see if there's an aftermarket for it. I don't think you need it.
Really. Yeah. But it will be interesting to see what they come up with in terms of things that they may want to do to change it around. But I tell you what, as we said before, for a brand new shooter or for a novice shooter or for somebody who's just looking for something small to carry around the house, it's a very well engineered machine to do that function.
Ammo test. We've done one. We did one.
Yes, we did. Yes,
by popular demand. Our last video, we reviewed a 3-inch 38 special revolver, and we got roasted for not doing an accuracy test for ammunition.
You want me to get the boxes?
I mean, you got to take our word for it. We shot critical defense.
Yep.
We shot the federal premium 95 grain hollow point.
95 grain. Well, 95 was the Magpul.
Yeah. It was 90.
Yeah, 90. Yeah.
We shot MagTech full metal jacket, and we shot Fiocchi full metal jacket.
Yes, we did.
And it did shoot all of them in the direction that the gun was pointing.
Or what kind of gun was it?
James Dean.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep. I can see it.
Motorcycle jacket.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining.
Yeah.
Would have loved to have, but he could have presented a lot of problems if someone had just given him one of these.
Yeah. Foxy Brown.
I like your thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for stopping by.
Can we do that again, or they don't want to do finger dance?